Welcome to the channel, everyone. Today I'm going to get started on painting my off-road bumper that I just built here. I hate taking it off the truck. It took so much time and effort to get this thing built. It's like I got to disassemble the truck again, and I just hate doing that. But I got to get her painted, or I'm not going to be able to drive the truck with my new bumper. I just test fitted the plow. I wanted to make sure that it wasn't going to interfere with anything before I painted it, and I've got plenty of room. If you remember right, I had these shackles, or these shackle mounts that I was going to add to the bumper. And the first thing why I didn't add them was because I thought the plow was going to come up right here. But it doesn't. I should have looked at the plow. They kick off to the side. So this really, I could add this right here. And this is where it would need to go, one on each side. You can't just add a shackle mount anywhere, guys. You got to have something behind the bumper for support. And the main mount is welded right here. The main mount that goes to the frame. So this would be a really good place for this shackle to go, because you're going to transfer all your pulling power right on through to the frame where the bumper is mounted. So you can't just take these and just add them anywhere, guys. You're going to bend your bumper up. But I really like the clean look of the bumper, and adding a shackle right here, I think it's just going to mess it up. So I'm going to leave the shackle off, because I think this has kind of got a real nice clean look to it. And I feel like the shackle is going to be like poking out. And I don't know. I'm going to go without them. I may take that factory tow hook. I may take that out and replace it with something that I can put a shackle on. That's probably what I'm going to do eventually, but right now I've got what I got, and I'm just going to roll with this. So with everything tested and all the decisions made, I can finally start pulling this thing off the truck. Okay, so I've got all my stuff off the truck, and I'm getting this prepped for paint. And I believe I've decided what I'm going to do. I'm going to use the Raptor Liner, and I'm going to do a color match. That's what I'm doing right now. We'll see if that makes it to the end of the video, but I just sanded the bumper here with 80 grit, and that's going to give my primers and the Raptor Liner and everything a good surface to bite into. I'm going to have to paint this bumper probably twice, because I'm going to have to do the back side and then the front side. Can't really hold it properly and do both sides at once, so it's kind of like having to paint it twice, but you know, you got to do what you got to do. I want the front side to turn out real nice, so that's what I'm going to do. So I did 80 grit over the whole thing, found some things that I didn't like, so you can see I've got some filler, fiberglass filler in some areas that like I said, I wasn't happy with, and I wasn't going to go back and re-weld that up. It's not a big enough area to weld and stuff, so just going to use some filler on a few areas. And yeah, once I get that sanded out, I'm going to flip this over, get the underside prepped. I'm going to do that first, or the back side. I'm going to do that first. I'm going to use some etching primer on this first, because this is bare metal. So I'm going to use etching primer. That's really going to bite into that bare metal. That's what the etching primer is for. So, and I got a bunch of it, so that's what I'm going to do with that. I've got my grill you see here, and this top trim piece. This is going to get etching primer. This is how I do chrome. Whenever I paint chrome, I use etching primer. I got to scuff this up first. Use a scuff pad, scuff it up real good. I'm going to use spray the etching primer when I prime my bumper, and then that will be ready for primer. You can go straight to paint, but the etching primer is kind of a greenish color, and it kind of messes up colors, so you really should put like a sealer or primer over it. So I think I'm going to go with, I'm going to paint it black, I think, because I'm going to paint the inside of the bumper black. Hopefully I got some black paint. And when I paint that black, I think I'll paint the grill and stuff. Okay, so I just mixed up my etching primer here. And I went to test my gun out, and my regulator is broken. It's leaking air, so I can't use that, so I got to regulate it off the main pressure on the system, and that's going to be real fun. But I think I can squeak by. I can't go get another one. It's too early in the morning, but got my etching primer all mixed up, and I use these liners for my gun. It just seems like it's easier to clean up when I use these, but I mean, I guess it's not necessary, but I've been using them for a while. You just push them in the gun there. They got a little plastic deal that goes in there. And my strainer here. You don't want big chunks going in your paint, or through your gun anyway. And I found out I don't have very much black paint, so I'm kind of in trouble there too. I guess I didn't plan this out very good. And it's the weekend. Early morning on the weekend, so it's gonna be real fun finding some black paint. So I just seal up the liner. It's like a bag, and actually once you get the air out of this thing, you can shoot upside down and whatever with your gun. So the liner system is pretty neat. Anyway, I gotta get to painting because I'm wasting time here. So I got everything prepped and lined up to be etching primed. So here we go. Well, I got the etching primer on everything, but problem is I can't find any black paint, and I can't find anybody to mix up the color from my truck either. So I have some black paint. I'm gonna mix up what I got. Hopefully I'll be able to get the back side of this bumper painted, but that's about all I can do, and I gotta wait for Monday to finish it up. But you can see I put some seam sealer on some of these seams just to try to keep stuff out of the seams there, to keep the corrosion out of the bumper. But yeah, so I'm gonna mix up what I have. Hopefully I get 2 good coats on the back of this bumper so I can flip it over tomorrow and finish the front side. That's really what I want to do. I was trying to get done today enough to be able to flip the bumper over, and I wanted to do the skid plate, flip that over too, but it's not really working out for me. So okay, so making some progress on the paint job here. You can see I've got some black on some of these parts. That's actually an epoxy primer that I found locally. Had to switch paints because they don't have my paint locally anymore. So switched over to PPG, and I kind of did a test run on the skid plate to make sure it didn't react to the etching primer that I had on there before, and it looks like everything's going good. So I just primed my grill as well. So that's looking good. I found some pinholes in my bumper, so I've been putting some little bit of putty in those. Just, I don't know, I'm being real picky here, but the reason I'm being kind of picky about these pinholes in this bumper is sometimes they will come back and rust will start coming out of those because the paint doesn't go inside those pinholes sometimes. So I really like to fill those up so the paint can go over top of them and cover it up, because sometimes that'll come back to bite you, leaving pinholes in your weld. So that's why I'm kind of being a little picky about that. But anyway, guys, I'm going to finish up getting this primer on here. I'm going to get the black primer on here, and that's going to help me spray the black granite metallic on this stuff. So I got to get going here, and I'll bring you back at some point. So I got everything primed with the epoxy primer. So I'm kind of done with the bumper there and the skid plate, and I'm going to move on to the grill here because I'm going to paint that. I'm just going to paint that normally or normal, like the paint on the truck. The bumpers and the skid plate, I'm going to use the Raptor Liner, but I'm going to do the grill first here. I got to paint it with the base coat, the black granite metallic. Then I got to clear coat that, and then once I get that finished and that's cured enough so I can safely move it out of the way, I'm going to move this out of the way, and then I'll start Raptor lining the skid plate and the bumper. So I'm gonna get this grill painted. Probably not gonna show any more painting because you're not even gonna be able to see that. I'll show you guys after when I get done, because it's black now, so there's not really any way for you to see any difference of me spraying. So I'm gonna get this grill done, and we'll see what she looks like. Okay, so now I'm starting to get a little excited here. I can finally see the light at the end of the tunnel. Got my grille painted here, and it looks awesome. All this hard work of taping off and scuffing and welding and grinding is finally getting somewhere. So I've got to set that out of the way so I don't mess my grill up, and then I'm going to start spraying the bed liner on the bumper and the skid plate. One thing about the bumper here, it has these inserts that go in here, so I don't want to fill these up with bed liner. So what I had to do is I'm going to make some cardboard templates that are going to set inside these areas. I'm going to set them in here, just so when I spray the bed liner on, it doesn't fill these all up, so it's the trim ring still recessed real nice into the bumper. You got to look close, but I did spray these. I sprayed these with the color. So even though they're not going to get bed liner, they're going to match the truck. They're going to have the same color. I know it's hard to tell. The bumper's black, and then this has the color of the truck on there. And you can see, if you look real close, you can see the metallic, but that color is really dark, and it's hard to tell on black, but I did paint these areas. So I'm going to get this grill out of the way so I can get to going and get this bed lined. The sooner I get it bed lined, the sooner I can get it on the truck. Okay, so I got my cardboard pieces in the recessed areas so I don't fill them up with bed liner. I've done some covering of stuff in the shop, because I know this is bed liner, it's not like it's paint, but this stuff will fly a lot farther than you think it will, so you got to watch out. And once this stuff sticks on something, it's really hard to get it off, so you're better off just taking some time and covering stuff than having overspray everywhere. So I'm gonna get my bed liner mixed up. I've gotta go back and read the directions. It's been a while since I've tinted this bed liner, and I gotta figure out how much I need, and yeah, we'll go from there. Okay, so my strategy for not wasting a bunch of Raptor liner is I'm going to mix up half this bottle, and that should be enough to do that bumper, a coat on the bumper and the skid plate. If it's not, I'll have to mix up more, but I'm going to do half the bottle, then I'll wait an hour, then I'll mix up the other half of the bottle, and I'll do my second coat, and I think I'm going to call it good. For that, I think that'll be enough. This tintable Raptor liner, you got to mix color with it, so I'm going to mix up for half of the bottle. I'm going to do 50 milliliters of the color, my black granite metallic. I'm going to do 125 milliliters of the Raptor hardener, and then I'm going to do I forget how many, it's half of 750, but I'm going to be I'm going to fill this mixing can up to 550 milliliters. That's what I got figured out anyway. So I'm going to put the color, the hardener, and then I'm going to fill this up to 550, and that should be half of the bottle. So what I'm going to do with the other half is I'm going to put it in a bag. I'm going to put it in a Ziploc bag inside of one of these cups, so I can save it for the hour while the first coat flashes off. And that's the plan, guys. Hopefully that's going to work out here. So I'm going to get the mixing, and hopefully half the bottle, we'll do one coat. So there we go, guys, completely finished with the bumper and the skid plate. Now I am going to say it's a little shinier than I thought it was going to be, and the reason it's kind of shinier than it normally would be is because I clear coated this. Now first off, I did 2 coats of the Raptor Liner, and like I said, I used half the bottle. I did 1 coat, used the second half of the bottle for the second coat. That worked out perfect. It was perfect amount for this bumper and the skid plate. I didn't waste any Raptor Liner, so I was real happy with that. Now, you spray on your first coat and you give it an hour. Then you spray on your second coat, and I called Raptor Liner to ask about putting the clear coat on, and they said let it sit for 2 hours, then you can put your clear coat on. Now the kind of reason that I'm talking about it being shiny is I put it was supposed to be a low gloss or a satin clear on it, so I'm a little puzzled at why it's as shiny as it is. It's not totally glossed out, but it's like I said, it's a little shinier than I was anticipating it to be. Dad seems to like this, so I think it'll look good. Like I said, a little shinier than I thought it was going to be, but I think it's going to work out. I think it's going to look awesome, guys. You can see these areas where I didn't line. Now this is the color of the truck, so you can see it looks darker than the bed liner. Now the reason it looks darker is because it's got, you know, metallics, and it might have some pearl in it. And when you get the texture, when you get this texture on there, it's not going to look exactly like the color when it is flat. So keep that in mind when you are doing a color match. I'm interested to see how this looks on the truck, because it does not look black. The truck looks black when you're looking at it like this, and this does not look black. This has more of the grayish tones that you can see. Well, you can see it in kind of different lighting. It does have like a grayish, maybe even a bluish kind of a tone. That might be where they're getting that granite color. why they call it black granite metallic. But anyway, I think it's gonna look awesome, guys. I love it. I spray my Raptor Liner at 60 psi at the gun. I think it says 40 to 60, but they say, you know, play around with it till you get the texture you like. I did my S10 at 60. I've done everything at 60, and I'm happy with this texture. It's rough enough that it's not like you're gonna scrape your knuckles up, but it's rough enough to give it a nice texture. It looks real similar to like the Line-X and stuff that I've seen sprayed, and the Line-X really has a nice professional look to it, and this does too, guys. I'm real happy with this, really happy. All the time grinding my welds and making sure everything looks good and not getting all the pinholes and everything. I mean, this thing looks awesome. So I guess, guys, that's, I think, gonna do it for this one, because I think I might be over 30 minutes on this video. So I'm gonna get this video out. I'll do an assembly video or a finished video or something for the next one where I'll have everything installed. I'm gonna have to wait a little bit to get this on the truck, because I don't want to damage this, because it looks so awesome that I don't want to scratch it putting it on. I don't want to rush the process, because I haven't rushed any of the process, and when you don't do that, this is the kind of quality you can have when you take your time and really really try to make something awesome. So there's the skid plate, guys. The underside, you're not gonna really see that, but here's the side you're gonna see, and it's really you're not even gonna see this hardly, just a little bit of that there. But it still looks awesome. So I guess, guys, that's gonna do it for this one. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and hopefully you'll stick around for when this thing gets installed on the truck. I'll see you guys.